Greetings all, and today I have a very special gentleman kind enough to come on my show. He's his prowess is known all around the Rockies. He is the son of Mother Colorado, and he has had amazing experiences both in the wild and in the urban. There are many accolades that he has received in his life, and he's known for various things. I'll just name a few. He's a great actor. He is one of the first double-digit number people who embraced the thing known as podcast today. So literally he is among the daddies of the podcast. And I can keep on going, but due to the constraint of time, I would like to welcome Dan to my podcast. And if you want to say a few words or a greeting to the audience, please feel free to do so.
Professor, it's nice to see you again. My truest older brother in many ways.
You are absolutely right on that one.
I'm excited. We don't have to start it this way, but I'm excited to share with everyone how we met because it's really unique. And it's something I will remember for the rest of my life, and I share with many people. For everyone out there and for those who listen, may I use your real name, Professor?
Sure. Yeah, you can call me Professor.
Yeah, Professor
Rish.
Rish. Professor is one of my dearest friends, and I'm really grateful for you bringing me on this podcast. You're one of the spiritual lights in my life that when I feel unbalanced and ungrounded, your insight and wisdom has been really positive in my life. So thank you for bringing me on the podcast. For all those out there, thank you for choosing to listen to a higher vibration creative project that I think will bring a lot of wisdom and insight and hopefully really beautiful light into your life, the way he is for me as well. And hopefully after this, maybe I will bring some of that wisdom back as well.
That will be super nice. So I really appreciate you. I put you on the spot and impromptu you had to say some words. I'm really thankful for that, and I'm really in deep gratitude that you chose to accept my call.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
So I see that you are a well-traveled person, domestic and international, and have the skills to earn a livelihood using any of the digital services within information technology. But I see that you decided to stay in Colorado. So what is Colorado? What is its essence?
Colorado, first and foremost for me, is my home. It's where I was born. There's a magic to this state because you've got every kind of weather, every kind of landscape in essentially a very relatively small amount of space. And it's very exciting to be able to be in the city and then 10 minutes later, an hour later, be in the middle of the wilderness. And for someone who I fundamentally believe that nature, that silence, and that connection to ourself is the medicine to all life, Colorado offers an amazing blend of those three things. And because I was born here and I have two baby girls, two daughters, I was so excited to get the opportunity to let one of my daughters be born here and raise both of these girls where I was born and be able to teach them how to climb mountains and how to deal with higher altitude, and just experience there's I don't know if you've ever felt this, but if you go out of country, it's very obvious. Every country has its own energetic vibration. The people, the culture, there's a fundamental shift on what the values are. Every state in the US has that as well. And Colorado's fundamental energy in nature is connectedness to nature, living in a balance between those two things. And you really feel that, you see that. There's a lot of very healthy people out here that they care a lot about, because I think that's what higher elevation brings. It's hard to live. I've had a lot of people visit, and because they were out of shape or their health was not well, when they got to Colorado, they weren't able to stay here for more than a day without getting very ill. So Colorado is one of the greatest places that tests who you are and will leave you stronger regardless of where you're at in life. And I love that, a constant growth.
That is wonderful. Was a great wisdom. You mentioned, I just recalled some example that will connect to obesity. I was reading this paper on people who went outside more in the nature were less likely to be obese as compared to the ones who stay indoors. I think when we stay indoors, we're always munching on snacks and all that. So you mentioned mountains in Colorado. So are they visible from whole of Colorado, or there is a special place, some special cities that you'd recommend for such a nice view?
You can see there's some places that have plains and you have plateaus, but you always can see, for the most part, hills. There's always some kind of terrain that you can experience. I live in Colorado Springs at the moment, which is at the base of Pikes Peak. And if y'all don't know, look up Pikes Peak and then also look up Garden of the Gods. That is my backyard right now. And it is so magical to be able to walk out into this place called Garden of the Gods, where it's a very unique place. It feels like one of the 7 wonders of the world.
Yeah, you mentioned that before too. That what is it? What is the name of this garden?
Garden of the Gods.
Garden of the Gods. Yeah, it connects to some wonder which was also suffixed by garden. And maybe if you have some cool pics or photos, I'll add it right here.
Okay.
For
Put it right here.
Mm-hmm.
And what's so cool is, and I don't know how much, I'm sure y'all play this way and your audience plays this way, there's these ley lines. You know, the geographic lines that go across the earth that are magnetic, and it's a very spiritual place that when you're connected close to a ley line. Garden of the Gods has this one particular stone where a ley line crosses right through it on both sides. And you can feel it when you're there. It's a vortex. And where I live in particular is Manitou, just outside of Old Colorado Springs. And Manitou is known for its spiritual battleground. That when you come here, you are forced into... I've had to leave Colorado many times because the energy of it gets too great, and I wasn't ready to face those inner things that I needed to face. And it's interesting because I don't know if any of you experienced this, but when you leave your family and you go do all this work on yourself and you're so strong and grounded, and then you go back to your family and within 3 days you're like, I've lost everything that I've gained wisdom-wise. And the beauty of family is there's this long relationship that they know you of, but they also have the old version of you, and they're integrating the new version of you. And sometimes that can be harder for others than it is for you or for myself. Colorado has that similar thing for me where I'm almost coming home because it is home. But I think people, especially when you're close to the ley lines, the vibration gets really loud on what you're working through. And if you're not ready to face it, you get spit out. But if you're ready to face it, you get this immense amount of abundance and beauty and kind of glory that comes from the wisdom that gets downloaded in that process.
Where does these lines start and end? Are they like circular?
So it starts at the top of the poles and then comes through at strategic places based on magnetism. Then you've got the equator and the crossing lines between each one of those. And essentially, obviously, not obviously, but the Earth is rotating in this circle at all times, which is why we're heading into these different star systems. And we just crossed over one within the last 3 months. And we'll be in this for, I think, the next 24,000. Don't quote me on that because that's not my specialty. But we've just crossed into this new star system where essentially we're focusing in. And the gift of that is, that's when the pyramids were created. The pyramids were very specifically aligned because they were on those lines. And if you look at vibration and magnetism and electricity and gravity as something that is always happening around us as we're constantly spinning, we can tap into this free energy source that is happening all around us. But because that isn't really, there's an industry out there that wants fuel, that wants nuclear, that wants these things to be our primary energy source. We haven't found a way to culturally bring in this outside way of allowing this free energy, these fundamental technologies that allow us to be able to harness that energy in a way where everyone can have unlimited. It's one of the vibrational dimensions as consciousness we're working through at the moment. And I think AI potentially, everyone's got this doomsday view on AI, and it's not that it can't go there, but I think if AI does what I think it's going to do, and as we integrate AI and human together, AI is going to allow some of those higher level consciousness activities into the human existence, where we can start tapping into some of those things in a way that's a lot more friendly to Earth and a lot more friendly to nature and the relationship that humans and nature have together as one.
Yeah, and some call it a conspiracy, but Sir Nikola Tesla was focused on this side also. That's what they say.
Yeah, it's very real. My buddy and I made one of those machines, and we stuck it 3 feet into the ground, and he pulls a few amps, every hour. And again, don't quote me on the numbers and all this stuff, the science of it, but we were pulling energy right out of the earth without any batteries, without any connection. Just, I've seen it work, and it's just a matter of, do people actually, and there's many ways to do it. Just when do people allow it for it to come forward without it being dangerous?
So if I have to think super ambitious, like beyond comprehension, I would say the free energy is electric energy.
Yeah.
Or can be transformed into, that's the correct word, transformation.
Yeah. I think if anyone wants to go do some research, and there's pros and cons to this, and everyone can see their own perspective, but Terrence Howard discovered a really unique structure that blends the relationship between gravity and electricity. And within this structure and within this relationship, these building blocks that he's discovered and is navigating with, I think is the answer to how you utilize the gravity, the gravitational pull, the spin, with the electricity that's naturally created that can then be harnessed and channeled.
Yeah, that's an interesting experiment. And you remember the movie Interstellar, who have created that imaginary thing. Many people I see when they watch Interstellar, they want to connect it to something to make sense, but that scenario is totally imaginary, because the director wanted something help from the professor for something like going upwards and finding a stable orbit in space. And then from there, they're able to see their home in the scene. And from one side, right? But that's all imagination. Just came into my mind when you mentioned the professor Terence Howard. So yeah, interesting stuff. I do get blown away or carried away talking these things.
For days.
Mhm.
The 369, if you will.
Oh yeah. So while you were talking about these star systems and the magnetic lines, it's interesting that the other guest who arrived in some of the starting episodes, he concluded with some readings and observations, and wherever experimentation was also needed, and with all the references that the pyramids are built in a line at 29 degrees latitude. And he found many pyramids on the globe, not only the main ones that we know. So there is definitely something about pyramids that I'm curious to know after this revelation. But have you ever seen any pyramids in Colorado?
Any what?
Pyramids in Colorado?
Well, yes. I mean, all two answers to that. I've never seen any that are man-made, the way we see in Egypt. But I see them so often in nature. The mountains, so many of the mountains are pyramid shaped, and the crystals within the mountains, especially the crystals within the mountains. My buddies and I just got back from a mining trip where we explored the deep woods and looking for topaz, and just found some of the most incredible pieces. And they come in fluorite, topaz will come in triangular, aquamarine comes triangular, and it's perfect geometry, it's perfectly relational. And I think that's partially why this is such a spiritual vibrationally high place, is it's the Rocky Mountains. These enormous pressured plates rose up into these mountains with volcanoes, these different things, and it creates these pyramid shapes and these amplifiers, if you will, that in a lot of ways are timeless and have I think a deeper message that you have to tap into with a different sense.
Yeah, you have to have an eye for it.
Yeah. It is one of the six senses, for sure.
Yeah, they've entertained Sixth Sense.
Yeah. I think we have many more than that.
Yeah, because you are the universe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So since you are like literally the son of Colorado.
I've never been called that before. It's an honor. I don't know if I'm worthy of it, but I'll take it.
You have always you've shown so much respect and love to it.
Yeah.
That and especially the Mother Earth.
Yeah.
So apart from deep spirituality, is there any culture or folk lore that is common among the people of Colorado?
Yeah, there's a lot of folklore out here. You I don't think I discovered it when I went to Iceland. Iceland is the first time I realized, oh, the elves and the giants and the fae, the fairies, they're real. You can feel it. Something is different. It's not the same as you feel in other places. And I would have, hearing me say that out loud, if I would have gone back even a year before I went there, I would have laughed a little bit at me saying that, or someone saying that. But when you go and you realize, especially in Iceland, there's not a lot of fences, but there are signs that say, if you go and do something dangerous or stupid, you will die. It's a life and a death balance, and life is so respected. The same way in the US, capitalism is kind of what rules and pushes the US forward. It's freedom and it's capitalism. Iceland is all about freedom and life. And that's a very different blend of energy that you receive there. And you realize when you feel and you see these giants and you feel the elves and you can feel the fae. So when I came back to Colorado, I think that tuned me into a different way where I could start feeling these things. So to answer your question, I definitely feel the fae here. And I don't know if you've ever heard this story, but if you're in Colorado or anywhere really, and you ever see a curved branch and you walk under it, it's a portal. And you can feel them in your own homes. There's typically one. I don't know if anyone experiences this, but there's usually a spot in the home. Maybe it's a mini door within your door that you can open up and close. Maybe it's a fireplace. There's always a portal that you can kind of feel where your special family moments come around. The big things in life happen around. Those are those portals where this energy can be felt and seen and can pass through. Colorado has a lot of those portals. And within those portals, then we start getting into more of the tangible, where it's like, people talk about Bigfoot a lot, you know? And I know some would say they don't love that term, so Sasquatch. And then there's even a deeper name, and I won't say it here on the podcast, but there's a name that they're known by. And that's one I connect with. And this is a tip for anyone who does come to Colorado, or really any mountains, but specifically Colorado mountains, the Rockies. When you're coming into the mountains, send a prayer, show some respect, understand that you're not just coming into this land to take from it. Give a gift. If you're willing, even if it's something where you leave a little food, you leave almost like an offering, and you just say, bless me in these mountains, allow me to have safe passage, and for the right energy to be attracted to me, and for the wrong energy to be repelled. These things are really important, not just from human to human, but also there's some really cool stories that a mountain will have a cave that's there. Someone goes into the cave, there's no more cave anymore. And Rish and Professor, I don't know if you remember this, but do you remember when we were living in California? Remember when we were called to Mount Shasta?
Yes, I do.
Late at night, and it was just this pull. We needed to go there. And do you remember, we started getting closer and closer. Once we could see the mountain, something told us not to go. And we ended up turning around and not going up to the actual mountain itself.
Yes.
So we got to see it visually, but then made a decision because something was telling us in nature and in the wild, you have to listen to those feelings. You might want something, your ego might desire something, but if you don't listen to that gut intuition, and if you don't offer yourself with respect to something that is so much bigger than you, the ocean's the same way. If you don't show that respect, you'll find very quickly that life and death come easily in the mountains.
Yes, I have no doubt about it. I've seen similar practices during my Eastern travels, and being connected to those cultures also. And the Nepalese who live by these tall mountains, they always pray just like the prayers you mentioned. You going to the Rockies and you made up a prayer of blessing. So they do that, and there are like they give real honor to the nature. But it's amazing to know that this is happening in Colorado also. Is it like you gave advice to someone who's visiting as a guest, but for the people who are natives of Colorado, is there any like custom or a ritual people do?
There's different types of Coloradoans. You've got your real cowboys, the farmers, the ranchers. They ride horses. They go to rodeos. They wear. It's a Wyoming Yellowstone-esque cowboy. And then you've got a mountaineer, the rock climbers, the hikers, the backpackers. They've got their own flavor. Then you've got the adrenaline seekers that are just out there for truly the adrenaline. And then you've got your city people, and usually they've come out from outside of Colorado, or they've lived in Colorado their whole life, but they've just never gone to the mountains. And they understand the city. And then you've also got plains people, and they live in plains. That's what I think each one of those groups has their own traditions and practices that are probably important to them. But I don't know if there's any that just universally, I'm sure there is, but I don't know one off the top of my mind that we just actively, or Colorado actively practices.
Okay, I got it. And yeah, so you mentioned about these spirits. Some are good spirits, some are bad spirits, and the fairies and all that.
Yeah.
First
time I've ever spoken about that on a podcast. I don't know. It's a little
first time I ever listened to on a podcast.
A little interesting.
So where I was getting at that I had a chance to drive through the Smoky Mountains, and I think the natives call the region as Appalachia, and they have a lot of folklore about the forces in the dense forests, by the rivers, by the hills. So there is quite a lot of stuff going on there. Many books are written about it. So I thought that was something similar to what you were referring at in Colorado.
It so is. And I think what's so interesting about those mountains in particular, those mountains are old. Not the oldest in the earth, but those are old mountains compared for the U.S. Much newer mountains than Colorado and the Rockies. And when you're in the Smokies, and when you really hike through the Smokies, you realize, whoa, there's a lot more here. You can feel that there's a lot more life. Colorado's relatively easy to hike through. The Smokies is a whole nother beast of survival to be able to just navigate through. And a lot of times with the Smokies, it just comes to people. The people in the Smokies can be a lot more dangerous than I think the people in Colorado can be, just with the history and with how everything navigates there on the day-to-day. It's a different it's a different place for sure.
Yeah. And How about your rocks you collected this week?
We got some really cool ones.
Is it near you? Maybe we can take a
maybe.
look.
Let me see if I've got any close.
While you talk, I'm getting a little curious about the Iceland travel.
Yes.
And the Bigfoot stories are legit. Many Eastern texts mention the existence of humans as bigger as compared to today.
The what? Will you say that again?
So, what the ancient Eastern scriptures say about something like Bigfoot is that they don't call it Bigfoot, but they said that the humans used to be much bigger, and now
Oh yeah.
they have become smaller.
Oh yeah. Devin Larratt talks about this, and not just they're definitely smaller, but he talks about that size still up north. He's traveled. He's a famous arm wrestler, and he's traveled up north, and he talks about it where there are men, not on social media, not competing, but they are 8 feet tall, and they are truly giant's blood.
Mm-hmm.
Truly, like what in the Bible, I think, and this becomes a little bit. We're talking folklore now again, but the Nephilim, that's where you start seeing these. It's the giant's blood. There's a lot of stories. The military has these stories. But I do think people are slowly getting smaller unless you stay connected to those roots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some interesting stuff, and it is not uncommon to hear about the big feet marks in the Sierra Nevadas also.
Yeah. I think they're everywhere. I think the giants are everywhere. I just think it's everywhere all at once. And once you tune yourself to it and wake up to it, you realize that when you're outside and you touch a tree, there's something that is connected, and it knows you're there, and you know it's there, and it knows what else is there, and it can tell you very clearly what's close and what you can reach and access.
Yes. So I recalled something with your mention of the trees. Is a lot of the ancient texts when an intellectual speaks about the ancient text, it generally loses its essence. For example, there is an old book in India which mentions a big punishment for cutting down the banyan tree.
Yeah.
Like real harsh punishment.
Yeah.
So when the intellectual today reads that, he thinks it is stupid to.
Yeah.
What does banyan tree does? So you have to find the essence of it. What was the true source of such a woe or a law created at the time? It says in the ancient cultures, people lived off nature, in nature, and in great harmony. So if you see the old banyan trees, they can cover a whole village. It is a habitat for many animals. It has super nice fruit. There is one in southern India which extends to 5 miles.
Wow.
So quite interesting stuff.
It is. I believe Hawaii has a similar practice. It's very sacred to take the leaves. It's not something that you can just do without having some respect behind it. Stones are the same way, crystals. Some countries have policies on it, and the policies go to like biological material. They don't want certain creatures crossing over different lines, and I can understand that. But if you're going to take a stone, like for example, my buddies and I, we have a mine up in the Colorado mountains, and we recently explored further, and what we're searching for is microcline, and it's essentially, and again, camera's never going to do it justice, but there's a shine, and this is what tells you you're close to the crystals. And the crystals, you start showing up with crystals like quartz. And we've got some beautiful quartz pieces. Unfortunately, they're further away. I'd have to get up, but like this one, for example. You talk about the triangle. You know,
that's neat.
Yeah, but what we're looking for is the topaz. And again, I haven't cleaned this one up, but this is a very, very large topaz. It's hard to find stones like this. And where was I going with this energy? Having respect for what you choose to take inside or outside of a place, I think is just really important. And we're seeing that with oil and the different things. How do we choose to live with the earth, and do we grow within the city? Did you ever see Avatar: Last Airbender, the TV show?
Not last year.
There's a TV episode where the spirit world and the human world merge. And it's all fun and games, but when this balance of the nature taking over the city folk are really angry that nature's taking over, but nature needs its place. How do you live in balance with these two in harmony? And it's a cool show for some principles like this.
Yeah. Some rich people have these nice glass houses somewhere in the middle of the world. So you see their pictures or videos, and they get millions of likes.
Yeah. The big glass, nature's in your home. It's yeah. Reese, can I ask you a question? Just because I'm not sure, and maybe I should know, but I won't even go there. Not the should, would, coulds, but in your mind, what is this podcast about? Like, why did you choose to do this podcast? I haven't heard your perspective on what your mission and your value system is for why you're doing this.
I wanted to create an archive of knowledge, and my goal is to present knowledge truthfully and not biased and free from any political opinions. So that is my motivation. I like AI, but I want to create this library of knowledge, so it is all available in totality, unless like with AI, it's only going to tell what it is programmed to tell.
Yeah.
So that was my motivation.
It's wonderful. If you, from your audience's perspective, and maybe you don't know this yet, or what do you want them to gain from this when they choose to spend time with you?
I just no expectations. They can just view it, and I will try to put in my energy into it with good intentions. Maybe somebody may find answers from any of the content, but nothing like I'm you know, want people to come and do something for me.
Yeah. May I share how we essentially met, just briefly, because I think it's relevant.
Sure, sure.
It's for anyone listening right now or in the future. It is such a pleasure to be able to hear, Professor, you speak the way you're speaking here today, because I would say, what was it? 10 years ago? It's not how you communicated. When we first
do a mimicry.
when we first met as roommates, because that's how we initially met, and there was a third person that was living with us as a roommate. It took 3 months for you to speak to me, almost. And your choice of words, you just didn't use your words often. And for a while, I had to sit in silence and really process why, because I love people and I really love consciousness and I love to figure people out. And I was having a hard time figuring out because you were unlike anyone I had ever met before. And it wasn't until I realized that the way you communicate at your soul level and in your heart is with your eyes. And with your energy. And once I could communicate with you with eyes and energy, that's when all of a sudden we could actually talk with words, because the words almost limited what you were capable of. And in order to create what you and I needed to create as brothers, we had to get here first, and we had to get here first. And then words could then be added on as flavor and cherries on top. And it taught me in those few months so much about the silence and the power of silence. And it's something I've always wanted to ask you, because I've not known a lot about your past in that sense. Was that intentional? Was that something that was given to you as a gift from Source? Was that something you had to work through to discover about yourself? How did that play out for you?
That is a keen observation, super deep. So thank you. I also learned something. And what about silence? Do you mean the spiritual silence? Shunya, the zero, the sound of zero.
I've never heard it said like that.
So if I have to tell you briefly, without in much details, I do remember my years before puberty. I felt more connected to the spirit at all times. Then after that, we grew up and go to college. There are a lot of lures or temptations. We have books that we have to study. So that changes your focus more outwardly, and more thought patterns related to the outside world. And then as I continued, I had some white rabbit events. And then reading the books, hearing the word of masters, slowly taught me how to be a good student, how to be flexible and keep practicing it whole life, because no one is complete except the guru avatar.
Do you still, how do I say it? I'm going to say this in the first way I'm going to say it, but then I want to correct the words. Do you miss being connected to the spirit that way? Or Or are you still connected to spirit that way? It's just there's different layers and focuses that now are on top of that. Or something else that I'm not even perceiving or seeing.
So everything is right here in Okay, so I was speaking that